Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
after the election, there was a lot of talk about Trump-proofing in Illinois and passing various measures to kind of combat what he talked about on the campaign trail. Can you talk about why we didn't see that during the lame duck and veto sessions? And is that still, I guess, maybe a broad legislative agenda going into the new General Assembly?
I want to be clear, I've never used the term Trump-proofing. This is, I think, the first time I've said those words out loud, Trump-proofing. But I do believe strongly that we need to protect and I said this, I think it was misinterpreted by some to think that I was only talking about immigration. But that we need to protect the people of Illinois from the onslaught that we expect, some of which was articulated by Trump as a candidate. And I just mentioned, as we were talking about healthcare, one of my concerns. So, the talk about Trump-proofing, as you said, I would just say we have examined, a lot of the angles that we think that the administration will come at states, not just Illinois, but we expect that there will be some serious partisanship about which states they'll decide to do certain things in. I'll give you an example of ways in which we are trying to protect Illinois. You heard Vivek Ramaswamy talk about trying to revoke the federal electric vehicle loan related to Rivian. That obviously would not be good for Rivian and seems to have been generated by his partner in this government efficiency department, who is a competitor of Rivian. And all I can say is I'm all about, just as I am about protecting the people of the state, I'm about protecting the workers of the state and the companies of the state of Illinois. And so that's one way in which we've actually worked already to address concerns that I have about the new administration.
Yeah. Related to other states, the governor of California said that the Trump administration's policies may actually erase potentially the surplus that the state is projecting. Yep. Illinois already is projected to have a $3 billion deficit. Do you think that deficit could get bigger because of the incoming administration's policies?
Sure.
Is it because of things like Medicaid?
Yes. I could articulate more, but yes, of course. We don't know what they're going to do, and it's so unpredictable that we need to consider that as we're putting a budget together and debating it over the next 4.5 months or so. So yes, it is possible that will create another hole in the budget. There's not a specific thing that I can point to, though, because he hasn't taken office yet and we haven't heard, and I don't think it's just going to be a concern about what he says or does on day one. And so we're all going to have to be on guard for what the impact of that would be on the state of Illinois. But, we've done a lot. I just want to remind you that we've had a challenge. As governor, we've had a crisis virtually every year that I've been in office of some sort or another. When I first came in office, the budget was still in crisis, and we managed to balance it that year and balance it every year, even the year of 2020 when we saw revenues fall off a cliff. We cut $700 million from an existing budget to try to deal with it. Now, fortunately, the federal government came in and helped us to replenish that, but that's not the only crisis. The COVID crisis broadly. Then, of course, we had additional crises like the governor of Texas deciding to send 50,000 migrants to the city of Chicago, not to most other places, although a few other cities, but to the city of Chicago. And so each time, and I've lived through challenges every year, and each time we've overcome those challenges. And I think this year, of course, we know that we have a gap that we need to fill or that we need to manage in order to have a balanced budget. And I'm confident that we will do that, but it is true that there's some unpredictable results that may come from Washington. Yes.